Murder with his own medevacs out now, so very interesting play here, far from standard. Though, I mean, what's so fun about standard play every day of the year? I mean, sometimes you gotta have these interesting games to liven it up. QXC not securing the gas at his natural. Interesting call, because Terran normally very gas starved. QXC looking pretty good on the resort. This is Murder 2. Murder sitting at 82 supply army, QXC sitting at 79, so they're very equal. QXC gonna secure this in natural watch. xel'naga watchtower in the middle. Gonna move over to the natural. Or no, he's going to retreat. Ah, stupid QXC, making me look like an idiot. And finally, let Murder pump in his own Viking, so maybe you're going to use that to either shoot down medevacs or spot for his non-existent siege tanks. Yeah, I guess it's going to be to shoot down other medevacs, even though QXC does only have one medevac at this point. And QXC throwing down a lot more racks, so we're going to see a giant bio-ball, Terran versus Terran. Wow, you barely ever see that. Normally you see it going to air, but another factory going in for QXC, so maybe we're going to see a huge mix of units for him. Vikings out across the map, the middle of the map for QXC. Maybe you're going to do some scouting, or we're going to try to snipe one of these medevacs or Vikings. And Murder having a huge Marauder for 16 Marauders, 3 medevacs and a Viking. More Marauders being added to it constantly. Great macro play from both players here. These Vikings are going to get away. These Marauders are going to chase them and not do anything. Poor little Marauders. You stim because you were in the same control group as these Marines. From Marines to stim, you guys have to stim too. Too bad. And we have a bunch of Marines being produced from all the barracks for QXC, so QXC making Marines out of all his barracks, not turning them into tech lab racks to get Marauders, anything like that, just going to stick with Marines. Very interesting call against Marauders. Marines aren't the best versus Marauders. We continue to have these giant Bibles being made up, QXC throwing down researches. Murder has all the researches for his infantry. Both players not going to secure a third yet, content to just sit off 2 bases for the time being. Just going to macro up an army. Murder 126, QXC 115, so Murder able to macro up a lot quicker than QXC, but he is getting supply blocked here for a second. He's going to destroy these rocks to his third. Looks like he's going to be ahead in the macro ram now if he can secure suspension. We have a sensor tower going down for... Ooh, there's just preparing guy. Sensor tower, where is the sensor tower placement? For QXC, I see it going down somewhere and I want to find it out. It's all missile turrets. It's going to annoy me if I can't find the sensor tower. Probably like right in front of me too. We have medevacs, unloaded medevacs and Vikings moving across the map, but here there's the rest of the army moving with them. It'd be kind of stupid to just send out your unloaded medevacs and Vikings. So we're going to have a huge Viking medevac, Marine Marauder, with QXC getting tanks and Murder getting Marauders and a Raven too. And here's the big fight, stim going down from both sides. Tank sieging up now, but the Marauders are going to be able to snipe. And there's a great micro by Murder here, using this portion of his force to snipe. These 2-point defense drones being great against the Marauder shells. But it looks like Murder's still going to take it with his giant Marauder army. QXC in a really bad spot, and I don't know how he'll be able to defend this. I mean, Murder pushing forward, he didn't, but QXC very nicely macroing up another big army. More tanks coming down. They can get sieged up. They can do very good against this army. This bunker's still alive, and these air forces for QXC still alive too. He is in control of the air, and we do finally have a fusion port going down for Murder, so we are going to see battle cruisers, even though QXC does have air control right now with his Vikings. If he were to pump out some more air-to-ground like Banshees or battle cruisers, he'd be able to do a lot better against this army composition, which is mostly Marauders that can't shoot up. Oh, sensor tower is right here. Put it right next to command center. Maybe to stop harass or Banshees coming around anytime. Murder's still controlling those watchtowers and has his third turning into an orbital command now. QXC just deciding to throw down his third command. So there's a very strange expansion timing from both these players here. QXC being head at first and then Murder being head after that. QXC gotta watch out for those Marauders. There's still Marauders pretty good against tanks if you can get them in there before the tanks siege up. And QXC continuing to send scouts, and we have the first battle cruiser on the way. Who called in the fleet, as the battle cruisers say. They have some of the best voices ever. This SCV gonna run away, getting slowed by the Marauders. Gonna go down, but QXC now realizing that his opponent has had this base up for a little longer than he has. Probably is gonna try to make something happen. Give him back that edge. Are we gonna see another confrontation here? Nice scan going on for QXC, finding the army. They're gonna give him the intel he needs. Gonna maybe take the watchtower and siege up. More reinforcements coming out from Murder. Both players keeping pretty constant production. Murder pumping out 4 Marauders, 2 Vikings at a time. QXC pumping out Marines, Marauders, tanks. How far is the first battle cruiser touched on? It's like 2/3. QXC gonna move into this expansion down here. Maybe he's gonna be able to snipe it. These bad positioning for Murder's forces up here on the high ground. These siege tanks are gonna be able to set up in time. If QXC just gets visions, these infantry forces won't be able to do anything. Looks like Murder now pulling ahead in the Viking count. QXC stopped Viking production after he saw that he had the lead there. So these tanks aren't going to have the vision advantage that the Viking grants them, but QXC was able to stop this expansion from mining for Murder, allowing his own expansion to be able to get up in time, though he hasn't destroyed these rocks, so his SCV is going to take a while to transfer. So QXC doing a good job there, just shutting down Murder's expansion. Gonna make it move away for the time being. Great play. And we have the Murder Air Force coming out. Looks like Murder is going to go for complete air control against QXC, getting a ton of Vikings, and now his first battlecruiser is out. These siege tanks going to keep sieging up, and Murder throwing down a 4th expansion too. Wow. Very huge macro-oriented play from the player Murder, and this first battlecruiser is on the way. What do we have to counter it? We do have a lot of Marines. It's probably enough Marines to kill it, but if the Marauders can take down the Marines and these Vikings, this battlecruiser will be sunk in the water. These Vikings coming down and provide air support for the battlecruiser. Marines going to run in and try to take down this battlecruiser. Are they going to be successful? I think this positioning favors the battlecruiser. It's a very good positioning here with tanks blocking the Marines line of sight. And I think Murder's going to have this battle with his air force, his battlecruiser, and his Vikings. It looks like they're going to take this. Battlecruiser is going to destroy the rest of the tanks. It's so sad the battlecruisers are going to get a nerf, sir, and lowering their damage, I think, to 8 per shot to ground. Very sad. Battlecruisers are one of the best units in the game, just because of how awesome they are. So it looks like Murder did take that fight. He's a huge army coming up from the rear, but QXC, wow, QXC, both players doing extremely great macro jobs, just having armies after they trade them just pop out of their base like, oh yeah, I had this thing the whole time. Here, suck it. Vikings now fighting in an air war. QXC really needs to start producing more Vikings to deal with these battlecruisers and Vikings. And there is only one battlecruiser out for Murder. He's not making any more, so these Marines are going to be able to clean it up, actually. Maybe he doesn't need to produce any more Vikings. He could just stay to ground. These Marauders are going to provide some trouble for him, and there's a huge army of Marauders out. So Murder now going to be off 4 base, while QXC, except Murder is not mining off his main. Neither is QXC. So QXC going to be on 2 mining bases, Murder going to be on 3. Murder going to have the slight edge there, throwing up another battlecruiser. QXC finally getting some upgrades down, Terran Infantry level 1. I don't think Murder has any upgrades. No, he does not. We have some SCVs transferring over the long way for QXC because he hasn't destroyed the rocks. Looks like he's going to do that now. And QXC pumping out tons of stuff, throwing down another command center at his natural. Going to probably float it over to this 4th base. This base for Murder, really susceptible to an attack from QXC. Surprised he hasn't figured that base out there yet and attacked it. QXC just throwing down tons of units all over the place. We're seeing a giant macrogram, and Murder smartly turning this into a planetary fortress because QXC has almost all ground units. The only thing that can really threaten that now are siege tanks, which aren't that threatening if you have stuff to defend it, like these Marauders. Stem up easily can take out siege tanks if the siege tanks don't have any supporting roles. We have an armory going down for QXC. Probably going to see upgrades come out of that, but we really like to see Thors because everybody likes Thors. Arnold Schwarzenegger voice and all. Same units being produced still for each player. Still have more Viking Marauder for Murder. Vikings take the air, Marauders take the ground. Sounds like a good plan to me. Bunch of Marines coming out now, still for QXC, shoot down the air. Both players just macroing up now. QXC at 156 army, Murder at 170. Looks like they're probably going to get up to 200 and try to trade armies again. QXC smartly throwing down sensor towers everywhere, though this has got to alert Murder that this expansion is up when he sees that sensor range go down. Looks like he was going to try to move out, but this huge army from QXC is going to turn him away. Pretty even Viking numbers here. Murder did get the first shot off, and these Marauders are going to get in before the siege tanks are sieged up. They're going to stim, they're going to pull out then, realizing that they don't have the air superiority. It is 6 Vikings for QXC. These reinforcement Vikings coming in, though, are going to give Murder the air superiority, and this battlecruiser will be able to take out QXC's army, which has lost all of its anti-air capabilities. Battlecruiser racking up the kills. 3 kills already, 4 kills, 5 kills. He's up to a corporal. Awesome battlecruiser. We have 2 more battlecruisers coming down for Murder, making use of the biggest units in the game, the battlecruiser. No upgrades yet, though, for either player. QXC, except one weapon for QXC's infantry. QXC has to move this base away. Looks Murder's Marauder army came in. Looks like he will be able to clean it up now, though. This battlecruiser are going to turn for home, realize he needs to get with his battlecruiser friends, because battlecruisers by themselves fall to Vikings and mass Marines pretty easily, which is what QXC is building. 7 Marines, 1 Viking. What do you know? SCV is going to transfer back shortly, I assume, to that base. Well, that's a lot of SCVs. That's like 30 SCVs. Murder now has his last base saturated, though. He is just about to mine out his natural, so he's going to be on 2 bases soon. QXC also going to mine out his natural soon, just about to take his 4th. So Murder has been ahead of QXC in these last 2 expansions, which has allowed him to macro a bit more. And Murder throwing down 3 star ports. Oh my gosh, we're going to see Battle Cruiser Palooza. Wow, that was catchy. I'll use that more often. 4 starports going down. Oh my gosh, I can't even spot all these things. Where are they? Is he throwing them up like in the field? Is he 2 over here? Wow. I don't know, they're probably somewhere. Anyway, that's just crazy macro from the Murder. He has 3 battle cruisers now. QXC is getting Terran